Okay, tumaliriza abaleba program eno Obulamu Zaabu. Program eno ebeerawo wano ku Ndeje University TV buli lunaku olwokuna ssaawa 2:30 ez'ekiro then edibwamu enkeera gwe waba misinze ku ssaawa 5:30 ez'okumakya. Obulamu Zaabu tuba twogera bintu bikwatagana na health. Tuleeta abantu abakugu abategera bye boogerako naye baba bakutemeratemeramu obulwadde oba oliawo obutukwata, tusobola tutya obwewala, tusobola tutya okubeera mu bulamu obweyagaza obutalina birwadde. Yes, mwaka gwe twakagutambula mwezi gwa kubiri kebera January yagenze wamukozeemu ki targets ze wasetinga zo omwaka guno ozituusizaawa. Olunaku leero nina omusawo tugaba tutambulira mu mbeera ya adolescent health. Adolescent health agenda bakitunyonyola kitegeeza kikola kino nga tunabagenda mu maaso azikwemuwa omukisa abe nga ye abeeyanjulira. Ogamba otya nnyo?
Jendi. Good morning.
Good morning. Tategeera bulungi Luganda, so waba akozesezza Oluzungu, it is very very okay. Nkimanyi naawe alaba Oluzungu era olutegeera. Amannya?
Bamuta Dr. Monica Namuli. Musawo w'abaana. Wanegombe mu services.
Okay. Tugenda kwogera ku adolescent health. Ajagala ogamba abali eyo abakulaba adolescent health kyekiyisawo.
Kati adolescent health. Adolescent health is basically okulabirira abaana abali mu adolescence stage. Adolescence esobola otandika kisinzira ggwanga ki. Naye ffe tugeza nnyo okukozesa World Health Organization as the guiding principle. So we have from the age of 10 to the age of 19. Those are what? Adolescents. Of course, it can pass up to the age of 24, that is young adults, or it can be up to age of 8, who are very early adolescents. So
abali early batandikira ku myaka ng'emeka?
Around 8. So some years, it depends. Some years from 8 to 24, 8 to 19. Naye ffe tukozesa 10 to 19. So that is the stage of adolescence.
Yes.
And adolescence health basically deals with children within that stage. We can overshoot or we can start before. Tetugana abaana kasita owozze n'ogamba nti I want to attend adolescent health, or I want to start to take care of my health as an adolescent. We will accept you. Now, abaana abali mu adolescent stage, there is in between, we have the early adolescents, the middle, the late. Abali early been about 10 years to 14, then 14 to around 17, then 17 to 19. And we separate that stages because each stage has its own special problems or special concerns and issues. Omwana akyali 10 to 14, see you no 18 to 19.
Okay.
The way they think, what they do, how they reason, even problems that they face are different based on how they are going through life. So basically, it's supposed to prepare them. It's a stage where there is a lot of growth physically, a lot of growth biologically, a lot of growth in terms of how they think, how they make their decisions, and how they interact with people. There are social kind of interactions. There is a lot of things happening in development yaki y'omwana. Si y'omuntu oli gogamba genda osene amazzi walina agenda. Omwana omukulu ajja kubuuza lwaki toweeserera maki maziko. So the reasoning is changing from that of a young child to actually going into adulthood. So it's a transition stage. Omwana transitioning okuva mu buto okubeera ki omukulu. And because it's a transition stage, omuntu yeetaaga kubeera guided.
Okay.
And some of the guidance that parents can do, some of the guidance health workers can help. Because there's one parent wakuma. Waliwo parent watasobola kukola ki kikwasaganya. Ekitegeeza omwana wagenda akulaba nga gwe muzadde we. So there are some things ng'aba adolescent tebagenda bekubuulira. Posing your child from childhood, early childhood, wamuyigiriza oba wamuwaka confidence kana kokogera everything.
Yes.
And even then, there are some things that children, as children who are in the adolescent stage, because of how they are changing, their complex reasoning, again agamba munne, again achikubulira. Naye woba omuwadde a space whereby they know nti betwogera n'omusawo
bisigale
confidential.
Yes.
Musawo tagenda bijja wana ate abigambe mama wange baleka bankuba emiggo ekitegedde bigenda sigala wano. So sometimes that's what adolescent health provides. That's just a small parcel, but we do a lot more. We take care of their physical body, how they are adjusting to their body. We try to,
okay,
to make sure that they are
kati
adjusting.
musawo nga tunatuukayo eyo mukunyunyirako ogambye nti adolescent stage eno erimu stages. Ali adolescents ne bali abakuze. Biki njala tutemeteme biki ono omuto changes zasuubira okufuna mu buli stage?
Kati atugambe nti health risks, tugamba nti health problems. Enkula y'abaana ffenna ng'abantu tugimanyi nti okutuuka ku myaka gino, for girls there will be breast development, hair, there will be body changes, periods will come. Then as you go on, there will be different changes. Those ones, most of people know them. But I'm going to talk about the health problems at almost every stage, or generally what happens in adolescence, and which ones are more important at each stage. Kati, what else are violence? Violence is a real major problem. Sometimes they either face violence at home, or they are the ones who are violent to each other. That is a stage of, like boys, for example, it's more common in boys, they will be violent. You get, they will be violent towards their peers, they will be violent towards the younger children, they will be violent towards their parents, or it could be vice versa. It now is a real problem. It becomes a bit of a challenge. So there will be violence on both sides and sometimes just amongst children. And it's more common in boys. But that is like in a stage of either late adolescence or middle adolescence. What about Mwana Kataringa mu senior 3, around 16 years, where you see their
abawulira amaanyi mangi.
And then they start a little bit of violence. There is issues with unintentional injuries. Omwana bafuna music accident. They are more prone to accidents. They are more, that I mean in general it's more common also in boys. In men as well, in general, in the whole world, men are more prone to getting accidents than women. I think it has to do with the fact that you're male. There is certain differences between male and women. So the ones who are most involved in road traffic accidents, not simply because they look for them, but sometimes they are more active. They are more involved in things. They are more active compared to their counterparts who are women. So there is going to be unintentional injury. So we're supposed to be sure that abazadde, or as people, we kind of not prevent, but we are aware that these things happen, and we try to put some preventative measures. So to take it. Then there is things like HIV, sexually transmitted diseases. Most people don't want to accept the adolescents are having sex, but they are. Or at least they feel they are, they should. Or at least they know someone who is, and they're also tempted to try. So, with sex comes very many consequences. Teenage pregnancies, which is very common in adolescents. We saw that in COVID. Very many dropped out because of it. We've also seen a rise in HIV in young children. It is a very big problem in Uganda. Not just girls, not just boys, both of them. It's more common now to find a young child having HIV than even an adult, probably. The rate of infection is much faster in them. And the point comes that we are not taking care of them. We are not giving them the right options. We are not telling them how to protect themselves, how to even avoid having sex in the very first place, and other things we handle. So if there is HIV, other sexually transmitted diseases, then teenage pregnancies, those are also common in middle and late adolescence. Tuna drug and substance abuse. Abaana ennaku zino are on substances. Marijuana, tobacco, oba biki, they are getting involved in these things early. And that also happens around middle and late adolescence. So it is a fact of what we are living in right now. Ate bino ebizibu tebikoma mu adolescence, byeyongerayo paka omwana wakola ki? Wakula. Ate n'atandika okufuukira ezzike. Then the other problem we're dealing with is mental health. We have a lot of depression, anxiety. Simanyi abantu banyinji depression naye okubeera nga toli musanyufu kati ngambe that's the easiest way I can say, but it's much more than that. Yes, we have that as a big problem. Sometimes it comes because people are not listening to them, or they don't know how to process things happening to them. Awulira essanyu limukozeeki limuweddeko kati takyalowooza alaba ennaku yeewakanaga kati bazadde bange baabano bafaafagana neki ne school fees, what is the sifa bufi n'embaleka ne batasasulira abaana balala. In real essence, that is how a child thinks. Naye nga gwe omukulu si bwotyo bukola ki olowooza. So it's important to be able to talk about those issues. If they are there, you talk about them before the child gets mentally ill, before the child goes into depression, so that you manage the problems before, because those are real issues. They're no longer thinking like a young child. Now they have some little bit of adult reasoning. So they start to put 2 and 2 together, and then they start getting stressed over nothing. Or sometimes, my friend gossiped about me. That's a small issue. That is all their life, and that can easily make a child go into another problem. So they have a lot of mental health issues. Sometimes it may be real disease, sometimes it may just be risks to disease. Other things you may talk about is body dysmorphia. Not really dysmorphia. No. They think it's only a problem of, most people think it's a problem of girls. Sometimes a girl who has not been told, as a girl, you will have periods. I've been there, till the periods came, and I was hiding it for months because I was thinking it's abnormal.
Okay,
issues.
Tandikiraawo ku periods. Samika ge banyagange tuli ku Andeje TV, tuli wano ku GMS Dwairo addene nnyo liri wano ku luguudo olugenda Enankulabe bali Ntuma Road ojjaba oliraba. Addene teriiko mbu atekkirira wano ddeeno ate luguudo w'oyitira ojjaba oliraba bakola ku buli mbeera zonna eziri medical. Jangu banyola ensonga zo oba oli awo bajja kubanga bakuwuliriza bakukoleko. Tuli mu adolescent health gye tuli mu kwogerako, era nga sofa atugambye nti wano mu kukyukakyuka wano between 8 years and probably 18 maaso eyo ng'okuze bingi ebikyuka. Tugambye ebizibu ebijja mulimu violence, mulimu body changes, mulimu kubeera nga omwana buli kaseera agetinga depressed. Ebintu bino tetubifaako ng'abazadde, naye twesanga nga otakifaako ng'obudde bukyali kiyinza okufuukira ekizibu ekinene maaso eyo. Ali musawo, tukomye wali ng'oŋŋamba ne periods olumu abaana zibakanga.
Yes. Now let me talk about just that one. Tandike ku ekyo. Omwana watu munnyonnyodde nti that's how your body is supposed to be. Omwana period nemukwata ng'ali mu kiraasi.
Naye babisoma. Tebabisoma mu gye tubatwala okusoma.
Kusomero, these things are not actually edda. Before when schools were more traditional and structured.
Yes.
But we have a school teacher abakwatagana ensonga z'abawala ensonga z'abalezi. They used to try to bridge the gap sometimes parents would not feel. Naye ennaku zino, I don't know why, but I think maybe it's because schools are more focused on performance, academic performance.
Yes.
Some things are really being taken out of, they're no longer being given a priority.
Okay.
But remember, if a girl child goes into her period for the first time, she did not know it will happen. And most times it happens when you do not know. You've not even prepared yourself. So a child gets up in the middle of class, there is a lot of shame that comes with it. And that shame doesn't go. And then if the children around the other pupils or students are not also educated, they can easily start laughing at her, pointing fingers. So I will that shame, that there is just something like, and you cannot take it away in 1 day, in 2 days. It's not easy. Like years, and even us as people and adults, we know something that happened, and you feel like normal. They would have. So we need to talk about this. Aware. n'abaana mu class babeera nga bali ki aware supporting omwana omu the breasts can come and maybe she's in P5 and her friends don't have anything. And by the time she's reaching P7, her breasts are almost fully grown because that is just how she grows. And yet her mates are just starting. That affects a person if it's not addressed. It's not good enough to say, we're moving for. You get? You have to address her fears, you have to address her concerns. Sometimes a big tadi because you know, she's not really sure are they real problems. Never we interface with them. As us generally we ask questions. Instead of very meaningless questions, we just ask, are you happy? How many friends do you have? What do you do with your friends? Where is this child on a journey? Do you like your body? You will find something you don't like them. But I talked to a child recently. Do you like your body?
Waliwo batayagala embiri gyabwe.
Yes. Ngawira ndi munene nnyo bannange okitegedde bafeesi yange eri etya waliwo omuyagamba nti nafuna accident nga akyali muto and my lip got distorted and everyone laughs at me, people call me names. So those are issues that
need to be
for
addressed.
you have moved on, but nayenga for them there. And if you don't deal with it as now, they will continue. And we also have the issue of social media. Social media has entered and it is not going. We have the internet. We have the internet addiction, the phone addiction, very easy access to porn, and we have celebrity looks. So if that pressure is on you, the person you want to look like, Shiba, Beyonce, you're not looking like that. It makes you feel less than. So some of those issues, you may take them into every life, but the problem is, problems like that start young, and then as they grow, they never go away. They just get covered up. Then you start seeing problems. You get it? And then they never really reach their full potential. That's okay, the biggest background. That's where really mental health and adolescent health wants to have. Someone grows up, they've transitioned very well, and at least as much as they can, so that they can be a productive adult. And throughout this stage, they have not got problems. Adolescents are weak. Generally, their immune system because there is a lot of hormones, moving within
them. But adolescents wofunira amaanyi amangi nga immune system eri.
Not so much so. It's like because of the hormones to make sure that pregnancy stays. They are more vulnerable to some infections. But even adolescents, there is a lot of hormones in the background at play. Hormones generally how they're in the background of at play. And also remember, but vaccinating vaccines running out at a certain point. And somehow most of it coincides with adolescents. We call it tetanus. Bayina okuddamu bakukuba akayiso ka tetanus ng'otuuse emyaka ki 10 kubanga kabakuba ng'okyali muto kabanga kali the immunity now, the cover is almost now low. And we want to make sure that we get children vaccinated. When schools used to allow vaccinations easily, bali they would come to schools and vaccinate every child for tetanus. The DPT, they would vaccinate children at school. Now there's a little bit of, it's not as good as it used to be, and there's some little bit of resistance from people. So you have to be, as a parent, adolescent health clinic. We have vaccines for adolescents because we know there is diseases that are more common and they are the commonest causes of death in adolescents. Pneumonia, COVID, adolescents suffered a lot more than younger children. They suffered a little bit more than, because they are not very robust in their immunity as a young child is. So we vaccinate them against very many other diseases, cervical cancer, preventing. But we know they will get sexually active.
So you never know omuzadde alina obanga abimanyi nti time wekyo omwana nyina.
Yes. The program can't handle everything about adolescents. People should know that adolescence has challenges, a lot of challenges, and the challenges of adolescents can carry on into adulthood if they are not handled in this stage. So the importance of adolescent health services is to help parents to recognize if there is a danger sign mu mwana wo. Olina okumanya nti mwana wange wadde tutukola advice come at least twice a year to any place that provides that service. They are there by the government hospitals. We have adolescent friendly services, but people only think that we give condoms and family planning. We don't. We talk. It's a talking visit.
Ekibuuzo kya kyandibadde nti omuzadde ategeera ddi kati kanjogere n'omwana naye ngenda kukyusaamu ŋŋambe mu abali mu health gundi eno abazadde mukoze ekimala okubanyonyola and this thing is needed and it's important.
I don't think
kuba
that
kyemmanyi abamu tebabimanyi.
I don't think that we have done enough. But remember, I don't think we have done enough. However, the problem is not the responsibility doesn't only fall on health workers. Of course, we advocate. We try our best to advocate. I know at least one health worker who is always, and I think two. There is one called Dr. Hanifa Sengeno. She has a whole platform of stepping stones for children. You parent well, you do things well. I know Dr. Sabrina Chitaka. She's very, very into these things of children, adolescents. She's an expert in these things.
Okay.
And I know very many other people maybe are passionate about but it is not only us who have to do it. There might be help from also set institutions in Tikati. We should structure the things. They should be there in the system. How many parents will I meet in that? They're very few to make an impact. What I can do as me, okogera ku TV, okogera ku radio, buli gwenda bamunyonyolako nti there's adolescent health kitegedde. But it cannot be at one stage. It has to be okutandika buli gwogenda ku ddwaliro. It has to be provided. This service is there. But it is an important thing. Maybe starting today, at least someone will know. Then the parent will keep on telling, you get. Abaana balabika they are seemingly well. Mwana ayingira consultation room, an adolescent, wabazze aze kukola bidala byazze okukola. Then I start asking those questions, which we call them, it's kind of like an adolescent guidebook. There is a question, it's an assessment tool for adolescents. Ubabuuza. The first thing when they say, everything is okay, everything is okay, everything is okay. When you reach to some questions, you start seeing a child breaking. And when the parent is there, you start looking at the body language. Alinganga ayagalo could disappear.
Yes.
Yes, please. Because there are some things children just don't feel comfortable telling you. Omwana solo gamba nafunye boyfriend mama nankubira ddala. Mama yankuba. Siddamu kimugamba. Yes. And it's not okay. It may not be okay culturally. These things what?
These things happen.
Yes. So that is where I think for us as adolescents, as pediatricians, we are trying to prepare before we even to care about it and taking care of adolescents. But the world has moved. We have progressed. So it's becoming more apparent that we need to put in effort. Nowadays, if I tell you we have children as young as 10 on drugs, you'll be shocked. We have children who are questioning themselves in gay marriage, what, they are everywhere, not so. We have so many children who are now not very sure. You get? You're not supposed to beat them, you're supposed to seek guidance to make sure that the right person sees your child. It's not a matter of some issue. It may seem nonsense, it may seem give them time. Some parents are also very inappropriate. Sometimes the things parents do in front of their children, assuming that this child is like 1 year, 2 years. There are things you can do in front of a year, 1 year, 2 years, and it will not affect them. But you should not do the same things in front of a 10-year-old. They think very differently. So there's a lot to be done when it comes to adolescent health. Sometimes it is on the child's side, sometimes it's on the parent's side. What for us we offer, as me what I offer, is I talk to the child, I talk to the parent, we come to an agreement of what can we, and through that maybe the next parent will also we'll also learn. But I've told you those problems are real. We have children, but they are hooked on weed. They have moved from weed, they're now on cocaine. We have them. And it's even much worse the older they get. But and it's very common in boys. Drugs are much more common in boys than girls because boys like trying. Adolescents like trying. Who has taken their first steps. Now adolescents have learned how to walk, but they want to try every small thing. So you have to, the way you guide your child who is walking to not enter fire is the same way you should guide your child who is an adolescent not to enter the fire of things that they shouldn't enter. Now I shocked I also get shocked sometimes about what their parents are doing and they don't like. You know, sometimes the things they think. I think
okay. Musawonge wagambye nti kiyinza okuba ekizibu okutematema ensonga eno negwayo mu one program. I think siibula era nja kusaba ojja kunfunirayo akadde akalala tuddemu tutemeeteme kubanga ebintu bino abantu bannayuganda abasinga tebabimanyi. Omuzadde amanyi kasita nfuna fiizi omwana wange alina weyebaka ayambala full stop ebidira era wawulira nti yabadde n'omulenzi ogiba miggo. So ajala osiibule then n'abazadde obalekereyo oba oliawo ebigambo ebisembayo.
What can I say? Mwebale nnyo. Thank you for this opportunity okubanga nsobola okwogera ku kintu kyendabanzi ng'ekintu kyetwayogerangako. Don't talk about it so commonly. I'm thankful for that opportunity. My word to parents out there, please, if you cannot take your child to a private facility, take your child anywhere where they have kutimba adolescent friendly services available. In almost any district in Uganda. Government has tried. Almost any health center 3 and above has adolescent friendly services with health workers who are able to provide this service. Take your child at least once in a year. Once. The best would be 4 times in a year to have a talk, to have an assessment done to ensure that your child grows up healthy. Ebirala abali mu Kampala muno nze ndi wane Gombe medical
services weziri ezo.
Yes, anywhere bw'osanga omusawo w'abaana ngamba pediatrician, any pediatrician anywhere can provide this service. Me, I am here at Gombe, so I can tell you that please bring your child. I am here almost every weekend. Every weekend I am here, and it's best when there is time. If you can't bring them to a private facility because your financial constraints, Mulago is very available. Mulago Ward 15 every Friday. So you know, a counselor, a nutritional specialist, adolescent health specialist, pediatricians, bali, we wait for children. We even have the vaccines available every Friday in Mulago. What is about the private? At least ensure you take your child once, twice a year to see a pediatrician for adolescent health. Even when your child is okay, please take your child, any child at all. You don't wait for your child to show you problems. There's some problems to be quicker. So ensure you take your child for an assessment for adolescent health wellness. That's all I have to say.
Kale yabadde musawo ow'abaana wano Gombe we twakoledde nga nnyonnyola oba olya ebintu tulina okuteekako amaaso ng'abazadde. Omwana mwetegereze nnyo, alina kyagambye nti omwana oba olaba nga ali okay, talina buzibu bwonna, mutwaleyo olabe kiyinza okuba muli ekintu kiri ayina kyalinamu nga kikula bukuzi kiyinza okufuukira ekizibu mu maaso eyo. Obulamu Zaabu ye program ebeera olunaku olwokuna saa 2:30 ez'ekiro wano ku Ndege University ate oba osubiddwa n'oddibwamu enkeera ku ssaawa 5:15 ez'okumakya osobola okuba nga ogiraba. Sami ke mannya gange n'abadde ku kamera Jesse sign out.